Hi, and welcome to Berry Aftercare. Whether you are listening to the podcast or you're watching the video, I welcome you and I thank you for being with me today. And we are in November already, and you know what that means. You know that means shopping is starting to be in high gear, and people are getting a little, worked up because, oh gosh, we hear that shipping's going to be delayed and all these things. So it's a time of stress. The holidays are definitely a time of stress, but they're also, and November is known for, Thanksgiving, which is a time for gratitude. And I would like to encourage you to focus more on the gratitude aspects of the holidays than the insanity surrounding gifts and shopping and lists of to dos and spending money and all that stressful stuff. So, I want you to join me today as I talk about gratitude. Are you going to have a gratitude list, which is always a good thing, or are you going to have an attitude of gratitude, which is maybe a little bit better thing? So let's talk about that. And I know it's a little trite to talk about gratitude during Thanksgiving season and Thanksgiving month, but we're going to do it anyway because attitude of gratitude, I will tell you, and I'm going to tell you again in a few minutes, is a game changer. It really is. It's one of the things that I learned many, many years ago. And while it's not always easy, but what has been easy in your journey, right? Not a whole heck of a lot. Most things in life aren't easy, right? But an attitude of gratitude, while it's not easy to cultivate on a regular basis, is well worth the effort. And we're going to talk about why. It's not just an opinion, there's good, solid science behind this. All right, so let's get started. You know, we talk about gratitude and we talk about it like, well, duh, you should have gratitude. But what does it really, really, really mean? And why is it important to have gratitude? There are a lot of reasons. And what gratitude really means is obviously thinking about the things in your life that you have to appreciate. And this is really important because it can boost your happiness, not just your happiness in the moment, but good news, it can really last for a long time. This attitude of gratitude lasts a long time. And I'm going to give you some information about some research that was done on this, but I want you to think about what your day to day habits are. And we talked about habits the last couple of weeks. So when you just stop to think about it, do you take time every day to consider what you have to be grateful for? Do you think about what's going well in your life? Because we nag and pick and bitch and moan and all day long, right? It seems like, and there's plenty in life to do that about. There's also plenty in life to feel grateful for. And I'm wondering if you have developed an attitude of gratitude, if you have developed the habit of focusing on your gratitudes every day, things that are going well in your life, things that have brought you joy or happiness or security or serenity, the things you have to appreciate in your life. Now, people sometimes list gratitudes, and I am a firm believer in this practice. We talked about practice, having a practice of doing things over and over and over is what leads to habits. So maybe at the end of your day, you think about what went well today and what do I have to be grateful for. If you are a prayerful person, maybe you share with the universe or your higher power what you were grateful for today. And this is an excellent, excellent practice because a lot of times we go to bed thinking about, oh my God, I didn't pack my lunch for tomorrow and I didn't prepare and I didn't plan my menu and I didn't, set out my gym clothes so I can make sure I stop at the gym on my way home from work. And we stress about what we didn't do and the kids and the spouses and the girlfriends and the boyfriends and all the things we have to do, right? Maybe if at the end of all of that fretting, you can say, what went well today? What am I grateful for today? And you can list two or three things that you're grateful for. maybe it will shift your mindset to one of being a little calmer, a little more peaceful, and maybe you'll sleep better. That's a good benefit for all of us, right? But the importance of gratitude goes deep. It really, really does go deep. And we think about people sometimes as being a glass half full person or a glass half empty person. And I think some of that is inherent and built into us just by nature, right? So a lot of people are born just with a more optimistic attitude and outlook than other people. And I don't know where you fall, but I would encourage you to take a look at this because it's something that can be changed. When I worked at a treatment center a long time ago, well, first of all, when I went to treatment, which you are not surprised by at this point. We had to talk about things we were grateful for every single day, and it did become a habit. And one of the things that I learned these 30 some years ago about developing an attitude of gratitude is that it really makes your outlook on life different. Things can go poorly in your day, as they will pretty much every day at different times throughout the day. And yet, if you can come back with, well, that did happen, and yet this happened also, or this is something that's good, and these are the things that are good and solid and secure in my life. That's an attitude of gratitude. It's like taking what goes awry, taking what sets you back, dealing with overeating or other people trying to sabotage you or you trying to sabotage yourself, whatever it is in your weight loss journey that seems to go wrong. The scale didn't give you the number you liked during the day. Find things to be grateful for. At least I have a support group that I can run this past. I'm grateful that I have people in my life that I can talk to about this who won't judge and criticize me, right? Practical application. So, having a list of gratitudes, like I did when I was in treatment and like I did when I worked at the treatment center, I made up a daily form for these kids. They were adolescents in a treatment facility. And each day they had to fill out this form and turn it in. And on their form, they had to list things for which they were grateful. And it had to be specific things, not like, I'm breathing. Although that's something to be grateful for. But it had to be more specific to their day. And this is carried on, and I have created for all of you, which is free on my website. And I will also post it on the Berry Aftercare websites is what I call a daily list. And on this list, it's got your gotta do ums, specifically related to your weight and your eating and your exercise habits. Because if you're a weight loss surgery patient, you know there are some things that you gotta do. So they're on there. There's a lot of other things on there, but there's a spot for you to state what you're grateful for that day. And if you have the new version of the daily sheet, the front part of it says arise. It's something for you to read over in the morning and talk about the things as you face your day, help you build your attitude to one of gratitude as you begin your day. And then the one for nighttime is called reflect, or I can't remember. But the back side of the page, read before you go to bed. And as you read that, there's also a place for you to say exactly what you were grateful for in that day, as well as check off your gotta do's and state something that you're proud of yourself for on that day. So that's the daily form that you can download. It's absolutely free. But this listing of gratitudes can become a great habit when you wake up in the morning, being grateful for another day, being grateful for the opportunity maybe to, improve your eating behavior from yesterday, or maybe grateful to have the opportunity to apologize to somebody that maybe you hurt the day before, or grateful for the opportunity to engage in healthy habits and work toward your lifestyle of living a healthy self, right? At the end of the day, list specific things that happen. So that's developing the habit of listing your things that you're grateful for. But an attitude of gratitude incorporates that habit of recognizing the things that you're grateful for, but also expressing them. Expressing gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation in all parts of your life on a regular basis, not for just the big things, but also for the small things. And I'll tell you what it also does, and this has just become a part of my life, and it's it's a way for me to develop my own sense of gratitude, to help make myself feel better, but also a way to add maybe a smile to somebody else's day, which is always a great thing to do. Maybe give them something to be grateful for that day. So when I'm about out and about in the world, if I see somebody and I have a genuine thought of kindness about that person, it might be what they're wearing or their smile or their whatever, I will recognize it and say to them. In fact, when my husband and I were on vacation a few weeks ago, we were at the Atlantis in the Bahamas, and they have a lazy river that has these little river rapids. And there were very few people there. And the people who were working along the different stations were bored out of their minds. You could just tell. But there was this one woman, and every time we went past her, she just had the most beautiful, kind smile. And I said to her, I just want you to know what a beautiful, kind smiler you have. That made me feel better because it obviously helped her to feel better. She was appreciative. So just making that part of your day, or if you're at the grocery store, or if you're at Target, or if you're, somewhere, just saying, I really appreciate your friendliness. This can't be an easy job. That becomes a habit too. And it's good for you and it's good for other people. But an attitude of gratitude is really just expressing what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. I was thankful for that woman's kind smile. I'm thankful when somebody treats me kindly when they have a really tough job, especially dealing with customers all day. So expressing your appreciation in all areas of your life, and it could be big things, it could be small things. Thank you for holding the door open for me. I really appreciate that. What a kind thing to do for yourself and for another person. Thank you to my grandkids for helping pick up when you weren't asked. Just developing that habit of giving the expression of thanks. And as you do that, it becomes more and more a part of your life. And I'll tell you what, makes you feel better and for sure makes other people feel better. And again, we've been talking about habits. We've been, you know, saying a lot of us are, it's built into us and it's ingrained in us to say thank you and please and develop these manners. And thank God for you parents who develop this habit in your children, right? Because politeness really encourages other people to be more cheerful. It encourages you to be more cheerful. It's positive, it's thankful in that moment. So when we learn manners, we're developing an attitude of gratitude in some small way. So you want to expand that habit of good habits to be thankful for other things throughout your day, and looking for them is one of the key, right? So that when the unpleasant things happen, which they will, we know that life is hard, obviously. When you feel bad, it becomes second nature to go, yes, that sucked. And what are the good things in my life? It really does. And it becomes such an ingrained way of living that for me now, when I'm really pissy about something, let me give you an example. Last week, I stopped at Walmart because they sell the kind of cat food my cat likes. And they also have lactose free half and half for my coffee. And I've not found anywhere else that has lactose free half and half. So there's a little shopping hint for you, Walmart. So I go to Walmart to pick up my cat food, my lactose-free things, and as happens not infrequently, I had like 7 things by the time I got up to the register. And that's when I realized I did not have my wallet with me. I had my phone with me, so I'm like, "I'm good. I've got Apple Pay on here, no problem." But I asked the girl before I went through, "If this doesn't work, can I punch in the numbers for my credit card?" And she said, "Yes." So I go through the line, my Apple Pay doesn't work, their system isn't set up to take that, and I have $133 and some odd cents worth of stuff that I was purchasing. So I go ahead and I say, "Well, can I punch in my number?" "Sure, go ahead, punch in your numbers." That doesn't work. She said, "Well, try it again. Punch them in again." Now there's 3 or 5 or 7 people behind me, right? And they're impatient and I'm feeling stressed. So I'm punching in the numbers. And of course, I punch them in wrong and I have to redo it. I'm all stressed out. So finally, she's like, "This isn't working." She calls over a manager. The manager says, "You can't do that." And I said, "Oh my God, I asked before I did this. So what do you want me to do with all of this stuff?" And, these people behind me were very, very kind. And the guy behind me, and I'm going to quote him, he says, "Lady, shit happens." And I said, "I know shit happens, but I don't like when shit happens and it affects the people behind me." They were being so kind. And so I was glad to have that kindness to and from them, but I just had to leave all my stuff. So you can bet when I left that store after spending about 45 minutes in there, not being able to pay for my items, stressing those people out behind me, knowing somebody else had to put that stuff away, I was ticked. I have a short fuse. The good thing about me is it doesn't usually last too long, but it is hot and it is quick. So even though I'm angry and I'm frustrated, the part of me that is so ingrained to say, "What's good about this? What's good in my life?" was there. And it just ticked me off even more. I'm like, I know I have a lot of good things. But by the time I got home, it was over, it was done with, all was well. Had I not had this habit of gratitude so ingrained in me to fight this pissy attitude I was in the midst of, it could have been worse, right? So, an attitude of gratitude will help you in a lot of ways. So, you can always combat the negative things that happen in your life with something like, fine, is that really the end of the world? No. And I'm sorry I inconvenienced people, but shit happens. So, how I'm going to deal with it is going to impact my life and the people in my home when I get there. Because if I am still pissy and mean and grumpy, then that's going to affect other people and they don't deserve that, right? Other people do not deserve our wrath. But by the time I got home, I'm like, you know what? Not a big deal. Yeah, frustrating. Yeah, time out of my life, but whatever. So you get into this habit. And I will tell you, it is totally a game changer because there were years in my life when I would blame my husband. There's no way that was my husband's fault, but I would have found a way to blame him, right? So then he feels bad and I feel bad and we're grumpy and now we're going to argue about 10 other things that mean nothing, right? It's not worth it. I don't want to be that person. So let's talk about the other benefits of having an attitude of gratitude. Because think about the days you get on that scale and it doesn't say what you like. Or think about the days you go off your eating plan and then you want to beat yourself up. It's not worth it because you will affect other people negatively. And that's not what we're going for here, right? So I'm going to read to you some research studies. Right. And this will hopefully convince you if what I'm talking about hasn't. So, feeling and expressing gratitude, finding what's good, can make you feel happy in the moment. But a lot of research, a lot of evidence is showing that having this thankful attitude has a lasting effect on your mood. What kind of lasting effect? A day, an hour? What? Well, let's talk about some of this research. So, a study that was conducted in 2003. It's a while ago, but this isn't about recent stuff. This would go today too, I'm sure. These researchers compared life satisfaction between two groups of people. One group that counted good things they are grateful for, and a group that counted life hassles. So they put these people into groups in for 10 weeks. And one group focused on what they were grateful for. One group focused on all the hassles we have. And God knows we all have them, right? So 10 weeks later, after this study, the first group, who focused on the gratitudes, felt a significantly greater well being when looking at life, when they were evaluating their life as a whole. They also had better expectations about their future. Ooh, that's pretty cool, right? So this lasted weeks and weeks and weeks later. Your overall sense of well-being and the things that you're looking forward to in your future. So this attitude of gratitude, this habit of being thankful goes a long way. Here's another study. This was done at the University of Pennsylvania, and they found that people who wrote down and delivered a heartfelt thank you note actually felt happier for a full month afterwards. That's pretty cool. And I know that my daughter, a couple of years ago, did a thing where every single week she sent a thank you note to somebody random in her life. And it was just something she wanted to do. And I'm sure that that practice really helped her feel better all year long because she's doing something that makes her feel good because she knows she's making somebody else feel good. And it can be a thank you note or it can be a simple thank you. Really cool stuff. Here's another one. Another research discovered that writing down 3 positive events each day for a week kept happiness levels high for up to 6 months. They didn't do the practice for 6 months, they did it for a week, but it had lasting effects for months. So establish this attitude of gratitude and make it a daily thing. I've already provided the form for you. It's called the daily list. Print it out for free, right? So some of the ways you can do it are having a journal, a gratitude journal. There's really neat little journals now that take you, they're called the 5 minute journal or something like that. But you just take like 5 minutes and just jot things down. And then when you're feeling pissy and life isn't fair, you can look through your gratitude journal and go, wow, what am I whining about? Okay, so thank you notes, we've already established that, but also just recognizing things throughout your day. Here's another research. Researchers at Eastern Washington University show that people who experience the most gratitude and therefore have the most positive effects. So these are people that have developed an attitude of gratitude. Here are some things that they have in common. They feel a sense of abundance in their life, like, I have a lot of good stuff going on. Why? Because they recognize it. They take time to notice it. They take time to acknowledge the good things in their lives. And we all have them. Come on. Another thing these people have in common is that they appreciate the contributions of others to their well being, meaning other people help me feel like I have an abundance of goodness in my life. So they recognize when other people are supportive of them, when they encourage them, when other people have good manners toward them, when other people recognize what they've done toward them. They recognize that it's partly me and partly others that are responsible for the good things in my life. The people who have an attitude of gratitude also recognize and enjoy life's small pleasures. And let me tell you something. This is something that has become such a beautiful part of my life. My daughter just chalks it up. She's like, "You're old." But honest to God, it's the small things. It's like, my God, look at the color of that sky. In fact, when I was at the Bahamas, I posted on my Facebook, look at the color of the sky and the color of the green trees in in opposition to that. And I'm looking out my window right now, and it's the same thing, this beautiful blue sky and this beautiful green of the trees next to the sky. That brings me incredible joy. Small pleasures. Been going to my grandkids' baseball games, right? And just listening to them cheer on their teammates or um, ask their parents or us, the grandparents, did you see my hit? Just little small things, and I think, "God, how awesome to be a kid at their ball game, knowing your parents, your grandparents, your cousins are there watching you. What an amazing thing." Now you can just go, "Oh my god, I got all these things I have to do today. I gotta take the kids to, gymnastics and play rehearsal and dance class and ball games. Ah, it's such a hassle." How about, wow, how awesome that my kids get to participate in all of these things. Another thing that people with an attitude of gratitude have is acknowledging the importance of expressing and experiencing gratitude. So, recognizing that it is so important to say kind things and express thanks to other people and how amazing it is to feel it when other people do it to you. It's an awareness. It's just like, wow, if you really focus on all these small little things that are really awesome in the day and take time to notice and appreciate them, your life is going to feel a whole hell of a lot better. I guarantee it. There's a guy on the radio show that I listen to, and he talks about his therapy experience. And he said he had a pretty half empty, his cup was, he looked at life from a half empty cup, right? And the therapist said to him, listen, how about instead of saying, I have to get up so early to go to work, saying, I get to go to work today. I get to go to work, and he likes his job. He just doesn't like the hour where it starts because it's early morning radio, right? And I get to have fun with my coworkers that I really enjoy. And I get to get off work at a decent hour because they start so early. So instead of focusing on, oh my God, I gotta do this, thank God I'm able to do this. I'm so glad I get to. It's a switch and it requires effort, but it's worth it. Just like putting the effort into, if you plan your meals and follow your plan, if you eat protein first, if you eat every 3 to 4 hours in the day, if you drink the water, if you take your vitamins, those things are going to lead you to the outcomes that you're hoping for with weight loss surgery. And this is the same thing. You're going to have a better outlook. You're going to feel happier. You're going to have greater joy. And this life of a healthy lifestyle includes all areas of your life. So, finding ways to find the gratitude, the thankfulness in each day is really critical, not just in Thanksgiving month, not just Thanksgiving Day, all year long. So, let's work on developing that attitude of gratitude. So, Thursday's Berry Aftercare video, which you can watch on www.berryaftercare.com. If you're not a member, join join us, please, because you'll be able to experience more videos, more information, more worksheets, all of those things that are going to contribute to your long-term success following weight loss surgery. But on Thursday on the video, we're going to talk about specific ways to help you cultivate this attitude of gratitude. Truly, truly, truly a game changer. I do thank you for joining me today. I am very grateful that you take some of your time to spend with me. And I am super grateful for the work that I do. And I think that gratitude for the job that I do is the reason that I do a lot of these extra things. Heck, I don't know if anybody listens to this or watches these videos. Um, but I do it because to me, it's important and it's a part of my gratitude for living the life of recovery that I have learned and been helped to find through many, many people in my life. So I just pass it on and hope that it reaches the people who need to hear it. So thank you. And please be sure to pass on your gratitude and develop that attitude of gratitude. Thanks for joining me. Remember, this is your health. This is your responsibility this day and every single day. I'll see you on Thursday.